Anita, you want to share? Shall I stop?
No, you continue if you want. No worries.
No, that's fine. No problem.
अच्छा
Let me
ठीक
stop.
है. Give me 1 minute. I'll just play that.
Okay. So for that premix is no. Oh, it's okay. I think it's getting recorded.
Yes.
Become comfortable, friends, in your respective seats. We'll do the Anapanasati meditation now. Remove your spectacles. Close your eyes. Let's invoke and request the masters to guide us with divine guidance from Brahma Shri Pitama Patriji, Mahatar Babaji, Ramta Master, Galactic Federation of Light, and all the other masters, angels, spirit beings, spiritual masters, all the other astral beings, who are all ensuring that this divine design course happens successfully. With their divine guidance, love and support, let's start this Anapanasati meditation. First, relax your body. The more frequently you start relaxing your body, not just in this meditation, but elsewhere when you're practicing, you will be able to relax far more easily because the body gets used to it. So let's go over each of the body parts and ask it to relax. My forehead is relaxed. My face is relaxed. My throat is relaxed. My shoulders are relaxed. Upper back and lower back, both are relaxed and relaxed and relaxed. My chest is relaxed. My hips are relaxed. My legs are relaxed. My hands are completely relaxed, clasped on my thighs, lap. My feet are also completely relaxed. From head to toe, the entire body is completely relaxed. Once your body starts relaxing, it will become heavy, heavier and heavier and heavier. And then you won't feel like shaking it. Let's go over the relaxation process once more. My forehead is relaxed. My face is relaxed. My neck is relaxed. My shoulders are relaxed. Upper back and lower back both are relaxed. My chest, abdomen are relaxed. My hips are relaxed. My legs are relaxed. Feet are relaxed. From top to bottom, the entire body is completely relaxed and relaxed. You can continue the relaxation process. The music will also help you relax. After that, just watch your breath. The body, at the body level, breathing is happening. Make the mind watch the breath. Then the mind will run away, it's some distraction. Let the mind come back to the breath. At that level, when you make the mind come back to the breath, your awareness is at the mind level. When your mind is watching the breath, you watch your mind. You will be a lot more relaxed when you're watching your mind watch the breath. How do I watch the mind? You can be creative. You can imagine an M and then watch the M. Or you can just intend to be the observer watching the mind watch the breath. If you can't understand that, whatever you feel like doing to watch the breath, just watch the breath. Let this be a relaxed process, not a very intellectual process. Continue the meditation now. Slowly come back to your body consciousness. At the count of 5, place your palms on your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes with a beautiful smile. Welcome to day 12 of Divine Design. And I have answered all the questions, and I don't think we have any other questions pending. So we can go directly to the Divine Design chapters today. Okay. So let me share. Bindu, you said you're going to read it, right?
I can read. I have a book.
Okay. Is anybody following the book on the screen? You can raise your hands and let me know. If she reads in her book, sorry, I did, Roshni, when you say no, what does it mean? Are you following it on the screen? Okay, Bindu, what I'll do is I'll share the screen. You can read it from here. Is this okay? Is this okay? You can read it from here?
Yeah. You can hear me?
Yeah.
3.3, the role of DNA. We designed a structure that would hold the 5D light codes within the human form. This structure was crystalline in nature, yet not a dense matter covering the structure. The crystalline structures are made up of 12 strands. The 12 strands hold the light codes in place within the human form. These strands are what the human calls DNA.
Okay. So basically, in the last class, we understood what are light codes, right? What are light codes? So the way they have been creating physical aspects on the earth, in the physical, they have taken the 12D light. Okay, they've been taking the 12D light, and that 12D light, let's say if it's vibrating at like 12 cycles per second, I'm just giving an example. 12 cycles per second, light is vibrating at that speed. They are reducing it to 5 cycles per second. So the light, now the 12D light, 12 dimensional light codes, they have put some intention into it, they have put some energy into it and all of that, and now that is vibrating. When they reduce that vibration, now what will happen? That will become crystalline. In the physical, when it comes down to the physical dimension, it will turn into that shape or that form or something like that. Okay. So here what they have told that those light codes which had information about how should this human body express itself, and then what will happen in each of these dimensions. Let's say in third dimension, in fifth dimension, how should this body behave? Then in sixth dimension, when it basically evolves, what are those light codes that should get activated? See, all the information is already there inside us. See, that is the beauty of this human body. Okay, whether you go to 6D or you don't go to 6D in this life with this body, that information is there. Okay, the option for everybody to evolve is already inside them. But whether you are putting that effort to go, whether the soul has a plan to use soul usually has a plan. Most of the time soul usually has a plan to ascend most of the time. But what happens, the ego takes over sometimes, and then there is a lot of confusion, and the body that is attached anyway has forgotten. So all because of a lot of confusion, in some cases it really doesn't go forward. In most cases it doesn't go forward. So like this, body after body after body, they are basically experimenting and then going forward with that journey. So but the body has every capacity to go completely traverse all the 12 dimensions. Okay, so that is what it says, that these light codes, imagine them like small dots. Okay, dots of information. Now these dots are, or let's say pearls. Now these pearls have to be held together in a structure like this. If you have seen the DNA of our own DNA structure, it is like a coil like this. Okay, it is like a double helix. It's like coiled like this. It's coiled. It has two strands only. It's called a double helix. As of now in science, whatever we've seen is called a two strand. We can see only two strands. And these two strands are going like a spiral staircase. And in these spiral staircases, the stairs that are there, no, the horizontal thing that joins these two things, on top of that and all, there are dots. You can imagine there are dots and all that. I mean, lots of stuff is there inside that. I'll not go to the science of it, but I'm just saying that in our current science model, we can see only two strands. But what they are saying in the book is there are 12 strands. Now you can ask me, where did all those 10 more strands go? So when we drop to third dimension, many of those strands were made dormant, which means those things were hidden, or they were basically, you can say, switched off, something like that. These strands are what human called the DNA. So it is basically holding those light codes like this. Okay, so that is what is called human DNA. And this human DNA is very unique to that human body. That is why our forensics and all that, they use a lot of DNA for analysis and all of that. When people commit crimes, or when people have to connect parents with children and all that, DNA is where it is used. And this DNA makes up every single expression of us, which means every single cell in our body has that DNA. Okay, so it is like our body is one of the most complex things that has ever been created in the cosmos itself. Okay, so that is, I mean, a lot of astral beings have basically come together, used their whole creativity and intelligence and all of those things, and they've created this human body. Okay, next.
DNA is a simple, DNA is simply the physical crystalline strands holding the light codes. DNA is not the human form. The light codes are the human form. DNA is not the consciousness that dropped down into the form. DNA is the term humans use for the container that holds the light codes. It can be confusing for the human as DNA has been synonymous with creating life and forms. However, it is light codes within the DNA strands that create all life and form seen in the physical reality.
Yeah. See, DNA itself is like a blueprint, like a software programming. And through the DNA, the human body will become, like, for example, when a baby is born, right? Before the baby is born, when the sperm and the egg comes together, the cells combine. At a cellular level, they are basically forming, right? At a cellular level, DNA is getting, coming together. And that DNA has that expression of that human body. And eventually the human body is actually happening. Before that, the human body did not happen, right? It took 9 months for a complete human body to get created based on the programming that was actually in the DNA. Okay, so the DNA is what is having the information, but it is not the human body itself, is what they are saying here. It's basically like the helix and all is like a container. The light codes have the, you can say, the blueprint or the information or something that is held together by like a sac with like a vertical sac, like a you can just say that you can just say that it's a bag sort of thing, nicely like a wound and all that. So it is holding all these light codes in a helix kind of sac. If people have doubts about that, raise your hands. I'm going to show you how the DNA looks like. If you have doubts about how a DNA looks like, I'll just show it to you based on how science has it. Or you can Google yourself offline while reading is happening. Just say DNA, human DNA. You'll be able to see that in the Google images. Yeah, next.
DNA strands are necessary to hold the physical form in the dense 5D field. It is the strands that allow the form to exist. The light codes could not exist within the form without the dense structure of the DNA.
See, imagine this DNA structure to be more like some intelligent bag. And this intelligent bag is able to hold light inside it, light and light codes inside it. See, this light and light codes actually, they are not physical, but they are some kind of information that exists in the form of light. But that light is vibrating at a 5D frequency. So that is what they're saying. So this particular strands are necessary to hold that light codes. Okay, next.
DNA strands only exist within Earth's experiment in the 6th, 5th, 4th, and 3rd and lower dimensional fields. Earth's entire intention was to evolve from a lower dimensional field into a higher dimensional field. The DNA strands are the perfect solution to create, in a dense physical reality, a physical form with the ability to shift into higher dimensional fields.
So only she wanted to experience physicality. Now, how should that physical body be? How should that physical body express? What are the patterns? All of those things are there in the DNA codes. And see, as such, beyond the 6th, when the body becomes more light in nature, it will start looking like light. For example, even we have about 7 aura layers, right? This is one layer. Physical is one layer. Like that, we have 7 layers like this. Including this, we have 7. So which means we have 6. So every time we move a dimension, okay, we will be able to vibrate at the frequency of that next layer. We will be operating, the awareness will be operating from that layer. Awareness means, awareness is that soul, okay? Awareness is that soul. We'll be operating from that layer and that dimension. That, for example, the next layer, you can't see, right? Can anybody see the next layer? I mean, if you are clairvoyant and all, you can see. If there's one next layer, then there's one next layer, there's one next layer. So if I'm a clairvoyant, which means if my third eye is open or something like that, then I'll be able to see all the other layers. Some people can see 2, 3 layers, some people can see more layers. So these layers are subtler and subtler and subtler compared to the previous layer. So this is the densest layer. The next layer is subtler. The next layer is subtler than that, subtler than that, subtler than that. So by the time we go to the 6th layer, if my awareness and if my mind and everything is operating from that layer, I'll be physically be looked at from this layer. But if people, let's say there are 10 people in front of me, and 5 people are vibrating in 5D, 2 people are vibrating in 6D, 1 people are vibrating in 7D, they can see my this layers also. Okay, they'll be able to see Smita from this layer. Okay, when they say Smita, they'll see, oh, they'll see Smita of this layer. Okay, they won't see this body. They won't see means they can see through me types. They'll be able to see my insides as well, like a X-ray. Okay, like that X-ray image, they'll be able to see fifth layer also, sixth layer. So depending on where you are, you will be able to see that layer, like an X-ray through the physical, you can see that. Actually, the way it is Smita is there. Similar to Smita, around Smita, there's one more body. You can just slightly bigger than me or slightly around me kind of thing. So if somebody sees me, if somebody is in 3D, they can see me. 3, 4, they can see me. Then let's say somebody at 5, they can see my energy. That means my next layers. Somebody at 6, they can see through me. Through me, they can see that me also. Like for example, when I was in the Gudakesha workshop, right? And I was talking on the stage, and it was a very emotional moment for me at that moment. And Master had given a lot of appreciations. People had given a lot of appreciations and all that. And for me, it was a very emotional moment for me. And I was in all tears and all that. And I was saying thank you and this and that and all that. And after that, Master told Smita, your energy was very beautiful. Especially when you cried, your energy was even more beautiful. So why? Because he's able to see something more than this. But did anybody else tell me? Nobody told me. They would have connected to my bhav, to my emotions. But he was able to see energy. Why? Because he's at that level. He's an enlightened master. So for what he sees, maybe he sees more also, but I could understand. His mouth may have told many things, but I could understand only that much. Okay? He may have meant many things also. I could understand only that much. Like even in Immortal Talks, I think I've given this example. In that the Baba, who's the chieftain of that tribe, he will go meet Hanuman. Hanuman comes after 40 years to the tribe. Every 40 years he comes and then he teaches and all of that. But when he comes, they'll be expecting, it'll be a period that he'll be coming and all that. So they'll be expecting Hanuman. It'll not be like Hanuman will come through a gate or something and say, welcome, welcome. It is not like that. He'll come sometime during this time, but nobody knows when he'll come, where he'll come, how he'll come and all that. So there will be some problem. So the chieftain will go to some place where he'll think that there are his ancestors. So we'll go there and decide, he will say. And then he'll take those people to the ancestors. But there Hanuman will be there. So the matter will get closed and then he'll come back because the matter got closed in front of Hanuman and all that. Then he's so excited. Hanuman has actually come kind of thing. So he wants to share it with his wife. He'll be talking. For him, he's actually telling it. Okay. Like I am speaking, so I can hear it, right? So which means I'm actually saying it. But he'll be saying it, but his wife can't hear it at all. She'll be hearing something else. She will say, "Oh, okay, you want food, you want this, you want that, something like that." She'll be talking something else. He'll be like, "No, not that, not food, not water. I'm trying to listen properly to me, hear properly, listen. Whatever she's able to hear, listen. Okay, she's able to hear, understand what I'm trying to tell you. That she can hear." And she's actually listening to him, paying attention to him like this. And he is again trying to tell. He's telling also, but she cannot hear it. Because it was not meant for her to hear yet. So she can't hear. Maybe some issue with frequency, whatever it is. So this is the way it is. So these DNA strands and all, what they're trying to tell is at that layer, at some layer, in that dimension, when a person is in that layer, it's vibrating at that layer, then the DNA will become light codes. Then they don't need that helix to protect, to hold it and all that. That helix also will be like a light code. That also will be, see, this physical, it's physical to me now. My helix is physical in this body. In the next body, it will be less physical helix. In the next body, it will be less physical helix, lesser physical. Lesser physical, lesser physical, lesser physical. And in some layer, at the 7th layer, That helix is also light. That light code is also light. Okay. So at that level, the body completely is light. And there is no need of a physicality to protect the light, because the light and all are all light and all. They are anyway, they are energetically connected to each other and all of those things. Yeah, next.
As the physical human form shifts into higher frequency, the light codes shift as well, and eventually the DNA strands will shift into the light codes. When the human form reaches the seventh dimensional field, the physical form is almost all light. There is very little physical density in the form. When this occurs, the form doesn't need DNA strands to hold the light codes and human form in place. The light codes can exist as light within the 7D form.
So there is today those light cannot, it's like there is light here. Just imagine there is light here. How can you actually keep that light? You can't keep that light. So what they are doing, they are holding one bag, they're keeping one bag, and that bag is also physical. In that physical, that they have light codes. That's a special bag. Let's say that special bag can hold light. If we try to hold light inside this and close the bottle, it will be dark. Okay, we cannot do that because we don't have, at least in our current consciousness, we can't do that. But they have already done. So here, by the time we reach the seventh dimensional field, everything is going to become so highly vibrating that you can't see it. Imagine there is a bullet train passing right next to you. You can't actually see that bullet train because it is going so fast. Similarly, if somebody is right next to me here, let's say if somebody is right next to me vibrating at a higher dimension, we can't see them. We are only able to see that curtain and window and all that, but we can't see them. They can see us, like our guardian angels and all of that, and masters and all. They are vibrating at a very high light. So even if they are actually, many people are like watching this class, even around me, all cooped up and all like sitting right next to me on this table and on the laptop also. I can't see them, but I can actually see the text that is on the laptop. Even if they're sitting on the laptop also, through them, I'll be able to see. Why? Because they are vibrating at such high speed of frequency, light frequency, that we can't, our eyes are not meant to see that speed. We are only able to see the speed that our eyes can see, some range. Beyond that, we can't see it all. Like cats and dogs and all, even birds to some extent, they can see high vibrating energies. We can't see. So that is the way it is. Next.
12 strands were chosen because the light codes held 12th dimension frequencies. It took thousands of light codes to create the human form. To ensure all the light codes would be held within the form, we designed 12 DNA strands. This number of DNA strands holding light codes allowed more of the codes to be expressed and expanded within the human form. If we only had 4 strands, we would not have been able to get all the necessary light codes needed to create the physical form into the human body.
So they needed a bag. That bag had to contain a lot of light codes inside it. So they put 12 strands of DNA to actually hold it. But what did they say? If we had only 4 strands of DNA, then that much of light we couldn't have held because it cannot contain so much of light within it. Like a small bag, like a thin bag, or like a bag which has, let's say, a striped bag, like a netted bag kind of thing. But instead of a netted bag, if you have a netted bag, then what will happen? Some pearls will fall off. But if you have a strong cotton bag, a proper cotton bag which has like fully well knit kind of thing, then you can hold more pearls in it because the pearls will not fall off from the holes and all that. I mean, just for our imagination, I'm telling all that. Okay, it is just for us to bring some some logical idea about what all they are saying. I'm just telling you all this. Okay, yeah.
The first 5 DNA strands hold all the 5D frequencies necessary for the higher dimensional consciousness to begin their human journey. They won't need to activate the first 5 strands. They are activated and experienced as soon as the higher dimensional consciousness incarnates into the form.
See, what they are saying is, when you are in fifth dimension, okay, when you are in fifth dimension, they started with fifth only, right? When they are in fifth dimension, 5 strands of DNA are already activated, ready. The human body, everything is basically ready for the visitors, volunteers who have come now. Many volunteers have come to start off their journey in this experiment and all that. Ready made, they are saying, first this human body is now ready with, see, human body is now ready with 5 strands of DNA, and like, you don't have to do anything else. It's all activated and all of those things. Like, it comes with a uh, what do you say, from the manufacturer only, everything is ready, it comes, no? Then after that, some customizing and all we have to do. That is up to us. Now if they have to go to 6, then they have to work towards going to 6. Then when they are vibrating at this frequency, or they are close to getting vibrated, slowly those codes will start getting activated and they'll anchor in the 6th. That we saw, right? That we saw the tapping and the anchoring and all that process we saw. So going from one layer to another layer is up to us. That much of denseness we have to reduce. What are the denseness that comes in the human body? It is a lot of physicality, like, for I mean, today we can say, I don't know what else, what from a 5D level, what else can be dense and all that, I can't say. But what I can say, from a 3D level, eating a lot of heavier foods, animal foods, will make your body more dense. And then having, or predominantly vibrating, or predominantly being in lower emotions, anger, frustration, guilt, fear, self-doubt, then jealousy. All of these things are very, very low vibrating things, low vibrating emotions. So the mind is vibrating, the mind is thinking those thoughts and emotions and all are produced. No? So those will also make the body also vibrate at that emotion. So they'll all become like this, slow. So if we have to vibrate at the speed of light, then we have to start going to become like God. And God does not have rules. God does not have biases. He does not say this is bad and this is good. He accepts everything as a part of his creation. And I can't say that immediately we'll be able to get there. That is what is the whole journey, right? The whole journey is about becoming God, becoming that flawless God, becoming that one God, that one source. And how do we even get there? In the process of getting there, you will know, first of all, what all makes you not God. Not God in the sense, less of God. You are made up of God, but you are not behaving like God. You are not acting like God. So what are those things that does not make you act like God? That is what you're trying to figure. Like, for example, they say, even in cooking, right? They say, please share your recipe. So let's say somebody makes really good cakes or really good breads or whatever it is we have made. And then we post it on Instagram. People say, recipe. Okay, you give the recipe. And then they take the same recipe and they actually don't get the same result. How? How didn't they get the same result? They exactly put the same cups, the same tablespoons, blah, blah, blah. But they don't get the same result. Why? Because sometimes the recipe giver may have overseen, or he may have overlooked the fact that he may have learned so many things as a part of his experience. He may have understood, for example, let's say, He may have understood that, oh, when I'm actually putting the cake in the pan or something, I should not use the butter paper. I should probably use a parchment paper. And then he might say, oh, I mean, I might need to get to this correct consistency. Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, I probably used some wheat from somebody, let's say, used wheat, and let's say somebody else used some other wheat. And so the difference in wheat also makes a difference. Maybe the wheat that one company has ground is less in some micro proportions compared to some other company that has ground it, or some maybe have some extra fiber. So there'll be so many n number of reasons. But then how will you even understand to make that perfect recipe compared to what that person made, recipe person made? Provided you continue to keep doing that, right? So that is where we forget. We forget to understand what are the other aspects to make a perfect recipe. So here you have to figure out those things yourself. And to understand that, many people say, hey, please tell what are the things that we should avoid. How do we, like, what are the things we should pay attention to? What are the things that we should think about tips and tricks? So some recipes will have tips and tricks also. Avoid using this particular thing, avoid using that particular thing. Or when it comes to this consistency, exactly just chuck, remove it off. So many things they will tell, right? Apart from the recipe, whatever they tell, just to make sure that you're like in that kind of thing. So that is what we are here to learn. We all know recipe to become God is XYZ. Okay, completely be thinking like God. Think only positive thoughts. Don't even think about duality. Just vibrate pure love. Be the love. Be love everybody. Look at God in everybody. You assume that everybody is you only. Gyan we know, right? We all know Gyan. But then how do we even get there? That is recipe. How do we even know whether we are getting there? The recipe has already been given to us. There is no dearth of spiritual organizations which are giving all this gyan to us today. So recipes, thousands of people are already giving. But to make that perfect recipe, we need to understand with the ingredients that we have in our life. How do we even become God? How do we become God in between a family of 5 or 10 people with different kind of personalities, right? How do we become God in between those people? That is how we need to understand how to make that perfect recipe. So this is what we are here to do. Okay, yeah. Next.
The human will access the remaining 7 strands as the physical body increases its frequency and activates the light codes held in those strands.
So yeah, we'll have to raise to those levels. Okay, next. Sorry.
3.4, Smita. Yeah, this one. Are you okay, Smita? Can you continue?
Yeah, it's okay. If you all are okay with some amount of cough.
Yeah, it's okay, but you shouldn't strain yourself, no?
See, this is also an experience only.
Yes, yes.
How frequently do we cough in between our classes and all that? Another experience.
Two types of DNA. There are two types of light codes held within the DNA strands. The first set of light codes is designed to create the human form and is the same for every human form. These codes are template for human form and make up 10% of the DNA.
So they say that there are two types of light codes. And the first set of light codes is designed to create the human form. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. And it is the same for, so what they're saying is we all look alike, right? We all have 2 ears, we have 2 eyes, and we almost look exactly the same. It's not like some of us look like aliens or some of us looks like teddy bears or something like that. Right? Teddy bears look like teddy bears, human beings look like human beings, and we are not completely different from each other except for the color, except for maybe African Americans maybe slightly bigger, slightly taller and all that. But we are not way different, like how dinosaurs were completely big and all that, to compare to other animals now. That much of difference is not there because the common set of DNA comes from these two strands. Yeah.
The second set of light codes is designed to create the human experience chosen by the HTC. It includes their intention for incarnating or the divine blueprint. It holds all their multi-dimensional abilities and skills they want to access as they shift into higher frequencies. It holds the characteristic they choose for their human body, including male or female, size and average weight of their body, color of their skin, hair, and eyes, and the location on the earth plane of their birth. These codes also hold the human family system, including ancestral lines, parents, siblings, and extended family. This second set of light codes make up 90% of the DNA.
Yeah. See, in these two types of DNA, first type anyway we saw. In the second one, it is all customized. This is customized by the HTC when it comes. It says because when they call in the volunteers should have some amount of room to play around what kind of body they want and all that. No. So first set is the whatever the GFOL gave was a basic template. They said with the second part of the DNA, you can basically code the light codes for doing whatever other parts you want. So here you see even the average weight of the body, which is why some people are very thin. Some people are naturally plumpy. And what we do, we tend to say, oh, I'm eating extra sweets, I'm eating this, I'm eating that. That's why I'm basically plump. If you look at me, I'm not stick. I don't look like a stick. Although I'm pretty much on fruits, mostly on raw, mostly on juices and all, I don't look like a stick. I still look slightly chubby kind of thing only because I used to be really chubby in the past. So my nature is to basically be like full. But there are some people who are by nature itself very thin. And when they literally go on these fruits and all of those things, they become even more like a stick. And of course, most of the time, muscles only have to be improved and all of those things. So, who decides all of those things? They only decide. Who decides family, ancestral lines? Ancestral lines means should I be born into Anita's line, Anita Singh's ancestral line? Should I be born into Bindu's ancestral line? Who decides all these things? You only decide. Why? Because there are some patterns in their line some general patterns will be continuing in their family. So if you want that experience, you will choose to become a baby in that ancestral line. And even parents, siblings. See, some people don't even like parents. They don't like their parents. They don't like their in-laws. So extended family. Here in this extended family and all of those things, everybody comes, including husband. Even friends will come. Friends as in close friends. Some close people who you think are teachers. All of those things, all of those people also. Somebody who is like constantly there in and around your life. All of those people will come. So this is 90% of the DNA. So which is why they say you are only creating your life. You only created your life. You only created your life. What does it mean? It means you only coded your plan. You only came with a plan. GFO did not give. There is no God. Which God? See in these two paragraphs, which God gave you all these things? Now some people will say, oh, I don't have eyes to see. I'm not able to see. I'm not able to hear. Some God she did a lot of papam in some past life. That's why she doesn't have ears. She doesn't have hearing. She doesn't have eyesight. All that we will talk about. But no, it is because they chose all these before that body is even created, before that conception. In fact, conception happens. Okay, at the conception level, coding has not happened. In fact, so many times what happens, there will be a ready-made mother in some family. Somebody decided to be a mother, conception and all has happened. Now that seed is basically forming. The zygote and all that is forming. At that time, in some point at that time, then only the coding will happen. The 90% of the DNA coding will happen at that time, they say. Maybe 80%, 70% may have. But I'll be born in this family. That also will be decided then only. Baby is anyway happening. Okay, that process is anyway happening. But who comes into that? Which soul comes into that? Happens slightly later, not at the time of conception or before conception. Sometimes it happens before itself, and then they would have known, oh yeah, these two parents are basically they'll anyway have a baby, so I'll be born in this. So typically what they say is, because we don't finish off our karmic patterns very quickly, the same people are continuing in the family. Like your grandfather might be your child, or some grandmother might be some other child, or sisters can be born as daughter and mother, something like this, or a husband can be born as father, because of some patterns that needs to be experienced and then finished off. And that you're getting it only in that family, right? So, and if that is what you want, you'll continue to keep continuing in the same family line. Yeah, next.
The HTC brings these codes in with them and stores them in the 12 strands of DNA. The codes hold the HTC's blueprint and specific abilities or way of being while in the human form.
So it brings it with them and stores them in the 12 strands of DNA. The codes hold the higher dimensional. So basically, whatever the HTC wants, once it connects, then the light coding also happens. Next.
The HTC that incarnates into the human form is not made of DNA, nor does it hold DNA within its consciousness. It is a HTC choosing to participate in a 5D form that was created by the light codes held in DNA. The DNA strand.
1 minute. So see, in some of the books, I think even in Immortal Talks and all that, there is a concept where they say, see, this body is existing, and we also read that in this 12D, every possible thing that you can imagine in the past, present, future, everything has already been created. If let's say you're doing some manifestation or something, you're doing it, you're imagining based on whatever you already have experienced. Okay, how do you have that in your head? How do you have that imagination in your head? It is because you've already done it. at some point, or you already know it. Okay, that knowing is there, that belief system, that information is already there, and based on that you're actually doing. So that inner knowing, how did it happen? Through some life. Okay, from zero, at some point you started and you got many things, right? So you got all that. So here what you should think, what they have told is, there could be a particular body, a particular scene is happening and all that. Everything is happening in the now moment. Okay, so we'll call it scenes. Now there is a body prime in particular. Every scene there is a hero and there is a participating audience. Okay, participating. Oh, just a minute. So the soul that wants that experience can get attached to that body. But let's say it has finished the experience. Let's say not full life. It has finished the experience, let's say at half, or maybe one scene or two scenes or whatever. That body will still be there. Some other soul can also come and occupy that body. Now, if I identify somebody as my friend or my daughter or somebody, what are we actually saying? We are identifying them with their body and the nature of the body. So sometimes there is a coding that has already happened, but somebody else also wants that experience. Typically what they do, somebody else can also come and occupy the body. This also happens, but at a physical level, nobody will identify this. And we will never be able to know how frequently it happens and whether it actually happened. It may not have happened also, but there is a possibility. The possibility is body will still exist, but some other soul is now coming to observe like this. It is sitting and observing. Today I may observe, Smita's soul may observe. Tomorrow somebody else is coming and observing. Some other HDC is observing. Because HDC is not doing any work, no? HDC is not doing work, except for the fact that all these 90% has basically been done by HDC. But if that same 90% wants that experience is necessary by some other HDC, they can also they can have a contract, or they can think and say, okay, I can, or they will leave and then somebody else will come. So there is a lot of such things also happening at these levels. But to me and you, we will never get to know such things. And so I'm just telling you because it was there in a book. But we can't even prove it. We can't even discuss it. Okay, so I'm just saying that the HTC is as like a driver. In my car, today I might be driving, tomorrow my husband will be driving, tomorrow maybe when my daughter learns to drive, she might drive. The car is still the same, right? It is like that. So yeah, held in a DNA.
The DNA strands were designed strictly by us in order to hold both sets of light codes that allow the experiment to take place. Outside the 12D grid, DNA does not exist. The only way a HTC within the 12D grid would hold light codes within DNA structures is if the consciousness itself was designed within the 12D grid. This did eventually occur on the Earth, but not for millions of years after we designed the 5D human form. We will discuss this in more detail later in the book.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, and this DNA concept and all of those things, it is only within the 12D grid, which means you can continue to keep evolving till the 12th dimension using this DNA concept, this human form and all that. After 12th dimension, you can eventually move out of the grid also. You can choose to go out of the grid, right? At that time, there are multiple other things that you can experience, which is not bound within the Earth's experiment. But there is no rules or any such thing. You can go, you would have evolved to that level, right? So you can, maybe you'll figure out a way to even continue to take your form to other levels also. I don't know. It's too for me. It's too much for me to explain to that level. But what I can say is the only what they're saying, the only way a HTC within the 12D grid could hold the light codes within the structure is if the consciousness itself was designed within the 12D grid. So this human body should be designed inside the grid, which means every single human body is basically a 12D light code, right? It is from the 12th dimension. They have shifted that code, that body's code, the physical body's code has been reduced to 5D, and then they created that human body. Or that even when all of that happens also, it will be like that. So what did they say? This eventually did occur on Earth, but not for millions of years, which means babies also happened, but at that time babies were not in the plan. For millions of years, babies did not happen. This did eventually occur on the Earth, but not for millions of years after we designed the human form. We will discuss this more in detail. So there was no concept of a baby at all in the beginning. I want to experience the Earth. I want to experience Earth. So I will come here to experience Earth via a human body. And there was no concept of even male, female, and all of those things as well at the time. It was just one structure, and which part of Earth should I be, and all of those kinds of things. Like we will play roles with each other, and everybody would play a certain role. How did they look and all that? They would only plan, like how they spoke here. But as such, the baby concept came later. Next.
DNA was created by us for Earth's experiment, and at that time, all HTC incarnating into the human form were not made of DNA.
So they're saying that. So they're saying all HTC incarnating were not made of DNA. This is slightly confusing to me. DNA was created by us for Earth's experiment, and at that time, okay. So HDC incarnating into human form were not made of DNA. What does that mean? DNA was created by us for Earth's experiment, and at that time, all HTC incarnating into HTC was never made of DNA, right? So why are they saying this? Okay, anyway, next.
Both sets of light codes are designed to activate and turn on within the human body. Once they activate, they hold different roles. Both sets of light codes are activated when the human form shifts into higher frequencies.
So so all this DNA concept is for the body. Okay, it is not it is never at the HTC level. They will get activated, and based on that activation, they will hold different roles and whatever it is, and they will get activated when the human shifts to higher frequencies. Whatever is necessary will be continuing to shift. Yeah.
The human form shifts into higher frequency when the light from the sun enters the human body. As the frequency within the body increases, it increases the frequency of the light codes within the DNA. This increase in frequency activates the light in the higher frequency, and light codes turn on.
See, this is very important. See, when they say who's constantly pushing the frequency, who's constantly pushing energy into us on Earth in general? Sun. And the availability of increase in frequency is already there for everybody. But what we do, we purposely reduce the frequency with our eating habits, with our thinking habits. In general, sun may have pushed us to this level, okay? But then we push ourselves back to this level. Sun will push us to this level, we'll push ourselves back to this level. Why? Because 60,000 thoughts that we generate on a daily basis are almost exactly the same every single day. Old patterns, old habits, old belief systems. Every single day we are doing exactly the same thing, including, now let me get up. I'll have to go to the bathroom. I have to take my brush. And this is how I have to brush my teeth. That those are also thoughts only. So out of the 60,000, many are repetitions of the previous day only. So let's say in that, repetitions of anger, repetitions of jealousy, repetitions of irritation on the husband, repetition of irritations on the children. If it is exactly the same that you are doing day in and day out every single day, what can poor sun do? It is exactly the same. So at some point, who will break the loop? Knowledge will break the loop. Knowledge should break the loop. At the same time, that energy from the sun also should have continued to hit you, and then it would have taken you to this level. Before you, knowledge is now also already inside you. Now what will happen? You will get a realization. Oh my God, I've been in the same way every single time. I need to break this pattern. Then you'll start to look at that in your life, pattern in your life, and then you'll try to alter the pattern. So this is what, so opportunity of growth is there for every single person, whether they are doing meditation, whether they are doing chanting, whether they are taking care of their baby 24/7, whether they are taking care of their sick parents 24/7. Every single person has this opportunity to grow. But who chose to be a mother for a child who needs care 24/7? Who chose to be a caretaker for a parent 24/7? You only. Now, energy is there, right? Energy is there from the sun. Now, what is missing? Knowledge is missing. Now, once you bring that knowledge to understand in how do I basically make the recipe perfect with the ingredients that I have, then you'll be able to make the perfect recipe with the same ingredients. Everybody has this recipe. So the knowledge, when it comes, you'll get the recipe. Now you should understand how to basically make it work in my environment. That is your job. Nobody else can do that job for you to make the recipe, take the recipe, make it work with your ingredients. So that is very important. So if you are a pro in cooking, a creative cook, okay, if you're trying to cook the same things every single day, no change at all, then your mind is basically not working at all. But if you come out, if you put that creative hat, and then, okay, I have the same things, what else can I make with this rava? What else can I make with this lettuce? What else can I make with apple? If you're able to think like that, then you will also be able to apply that in other aspects of your life, not just cooking. Because that creativity in your life will also apply to other areas of your life. If let's say I'm shouting at my husband because he's not listening to me or something like that, then how can I basically think differently about this? So those because you will now suddenly start to think, you suddenly start to like how creativity feels like inside, and then you'll start to apply that creativity in other aspects of your life. It is a personal thing, and this is how I say recipe is there with everybody. Plenty of recipes are there on the internet. Now how will you make it work with the ingredients you have in your house, right? So this is what sun is doing. Next.
As the first set of light codes activate, They allow the human form to navigate and experience the next highest dimensional field. As the second set of light codes activate, they allow the human access to more of their multidimensionalities, including new ways of being, new abilities, and new skills they did not have in the lower frequencies and dimensional field.
Yeah. See, this is very important. If you suddenly feel that you are able to do something new, it is not because it's because you already knew it. You have just activating that part of yourself. That's all. Okay. So see, many people think that people who are able to see energies, third eye people and all that, right? They're able to see energies. They're able to go to astral traveling and all of those kinds of things, because that soul chose that experience. When I'm vibrating at that frequency, they may be even at lower frequencies. Okay, they may be even in lower frequencies, even in third 3D, but they chose to bring with them certain multidimensional aspects of themselves, because those ways or those skills will teach them something, because that is how they want to learn in this body. So people may go astral traveling, they may see their past life or whatever it is. There they will learn something. Oh, at that time I was very bad to my mother, that is why she is bad to me now. Then I had that experience of being bad, now she has the experience of being bad. So today I don't have to make my mother responsible, rather I don't have to hate my mother, because it is like we are just evening out. We are like going even. I did that, now she's doing it, we are going even. So that kind of mentality will come. You'll be able to see the current life with a different perspective. Okay, so that is what knowledge brings. So if you are getting knowledge from astral travel, if you're getting knowledge from some other let's say some higher dimensional aspects of yourself, it doesn't mean that they are great. Everybody is just having a different experience. See, people who are having many of these things during meditation does not mean that they are great, because the greatness or the actual aspect, the actual thing is to take that knowledge. Even if first of all knowledge, first of all take that information, find out what is it that I'll have to take from that information, and put it into the use it with the ingredients that you have in your life. Application of any knowledge, whether it's coming from astral level, whether it is coming from books, whether it's coming from videos, whether it is coming from teaching like this, everything is just knowledge. You need to take that knowledge, put that into your life, in your family, in your work, in the way you are, and change the beingness that you have, the beingness, which means the very personality that you have, the very core of yourself. It has to be applied at that level. That is called living. We tend to get carried away by people who actually have a lot of knowledge, by people who look very good, by people who have a lot of money. It doesn't matter. It really does not matter. It does not matter what they have. It does not matter how much they know. You can look at me also and you say, oh, Smita knows so much. It doesn't matter, because even I have to learn to apply many of the things that I know only in my own life. And I may only have patterns in my own life, which I may be struggling with to apply in my own life, because the patterns are very deep. Because I'm carrying it from many, many lives myself. I may have chosen a life where I may have chosen a life where I'll have the knowledge, and I'm only telling the knowledge like this, and I will learn with my own knowledge. It's just another experience, right? Instead of looking at a reflection telling something and understanding. I am telling this myself and I'm learning it from myself. So that is also an experience. So there are so many varieties of experience that God wants to express himself. And there is no good, bad, ugly, high, low. There is nothing like that. The mastery is in applying in your daily life, and it may not come overnight. It may come over a period of practicing it. But the intention to apply has to be the highest. Next.
The light codes within the human form hold 12-dimensional fields and frequencies. They have the potential to activate within the 5D form, human form, and allow the form and the HTC to access the 7 remaining dimensional fields. This is the divine design. This is the natural process of evolution in human physical form.
So they started from 5D, right? So they were given 5D. And on top of that, whatever they do, they only have to access it through their through whatever process. They have to keep vibrating higher, 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 and go higher. If somebody doesn't want to go higher, they'll be staying there only. So they've given them the free will to evolve based on whatever process. Okay, yeah, we'll stop here. Thank you, Bindu, for all your reading. It was great. It really helped.
Thank you, Smita.
Yeah. Any questions? Yeah, Sangeeta. Can you unmute yourself? You can, I think, right?
Yes, I was able to unmute myself. Yeah, my question is, so the animals and we are in 3D, and then how come some of the animals can see the high vibrating energy, but we cannot?
The 3D part will come later, but animals are not meant to evolve, first of all. They have higher sense perceptions. All animals have higher sense perceptions. Animals like bees, bats, they can see farther and all that. So even, for example, take eagles. How much they can see? Can we see that much? When we have experienced animals, we have experienced those higher sensory perceptions. We've experienced it, like how our eyes work, how nose works, how ears work, how maybe taste works, how sense works. All of that we've learned about that in separately through by living in animals. But when we are humans, it's all balanced. It's nothing is greater than the other. We have to use all 5 together. Everything has to be in balance. That is, see, when we are humans, we don't need to. We are not living a survival life. Animals live for survival. We are not living for survival. Of course, we have become habituated to live for survival. Eat, drink, mate, sleep. We live like animals only, typically. Without that gyan, in the beginning, human beings are living like almost like animals only, because they just became human beings. They just started entering human form, and then all that they have known so far is being like an animal, from a belief system perspective, from a habit perspective, because all that information that has been stored from scratch on earth is there in the subtle body. Now they start off from that level only. They start off from being like a human animal, and eat like animal, live like animal, be like animal, mate like animal, all of that. But over a period of time, you get that understanding that, oh, I am actually different. I'm not meant for this. I'm meant for something more. Then you go there. So to answer your question, why they are like that, they need to survive. That is why they are like that. We are not meant to survive. We have intellect. We are supposed to be smarter. We have the understanding that even if I die, I'll get another body. I don't have to live in fear. But for animals, fear is very high. That is why they have a high sense of perceptions, because they need to protect themselves and whatnot they do. They don't have a they don't have like a mind like a human being. It's all based on instincts. They don't say, what do you say? I don't like biryani. I will do this only. I will eat that only. That likes and dislikes is not there so much. When we see such things in dogs, it is because our reality is actually seen through a dog, but the dog itself is not like that. When we say, oh, my dog is eating only this, my dog is eating only that, our belief system is making us see a dog eat like that. I gave that example of when you raise your vibration, how you'll see your family members changing and all that. No, same thing happens with the dog also. What you see is what you believe. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else?
One more thing, there was a mention that first 5 strands of this DNA is already activated for volunteers, but out of the 12 strands, only 10% was template. Others were supposed to be customized by HTC. So till it's not customized, how is it already activated?
It is available for use. See, the light codes are different. What you're talking about, the strands are different. See, when they say first 5 strands are already activated, means it is available for use. It is not dormant.
And the
extra energy has not been provided.
Other 7
there
will be activated with the help of sun later.
Yeah. When they hit that energy.
Okay. Thank you.
Because they have chosen only a 5D body. If they get that 7D level information right now, if those light codes activate right now, then their body will get short circuited. It's like extra current is going to pass. Then they can't survive that current. The body
that
cannot
gets
survive.
Activated when they are evolving to higher dimensions.
Yes, when the body adapts itself to vibrate higher, faster. How did it even start to ascend? Through energy. It means from here to here, if you have to go, you'll have to drop that density. From here to here, you have to drop the density. From here to here, you have to drop that density. And you continue to evolve yourself by dropping those densities. And then you became capable to basically get to the state. And now, since you have adapted yourself, here also energy was high. Here also energy became a slightly higher. So here it is also the same thing, which means you sort of adapted.
So, that is why at the beginning of this course you said have more juices, avoid non-vegetarian food, and do gratitude regularly.
Yeah,
because so that we can raise our dimension, or at least move in the similar direction.
Yeah, that is a general thing. But then at least when you have to get this knowledge, so you won't be able to even understand what is happening. That even to get this knowledge, some minimum criteria should be there. Minimum level of vibration should be there. So why are only, let's say, let's assume you guys are attending, and then many people are doing the recordings on their own. So whoever is basically doing this intently. So they're meeting that criteria to get that knowledge. And even in this part, even in this, let's say, this universal set, so not everybody is basically understanding. Now, let's say you are asking questions, you're clarifying it. Many people may not know how to ask questions also, what questions to ask also. They may be understanding, they may not be understanding. They may think that if I ask a question, maybe that is wrong. So there are various levels of understanding in this whole thing, right? Many people may be seeing the recording, they may not, it may not be entering their head only. Some people left. So the number of people who started seeing these classes were in 300s. And of late, it is only in few double digits. This is how it happens for higher energy classes.
Actually, it's quite a complicated topic. And
Yeah.
when I try to read the book myself, I'm not able to get it. But going through these sessions, it's easier to understand.
Yeah.
And that too, I have to hear it multiple times, because when I'm at the advanced class, I tend to forget what we did earlier. So from today, I started making notes also.
Yeah.
So that I can
Notes
go
will
back
really help. Notes will really help. Plus, we are anyway going to be using the same terminologies. And you all can definitely ask, hey, what was the light code? I forgot. What is light code? Hey, what is tapping? What is alchemizing? I forgot. What is dimension? You all can definitely ask such questions also. It is not like I've told it in the past, but I should never ask it. I will definitely not say, go read it in that thing.
Would
or
it
go
be
see it in some other
possible
recording.
to do a little summary, like till now what has happened? The god has split and so many sparks have been done. And
see, what you should do
maybe
is you should start to tell yourself, how much do I know so far in the book? Like whatever is there in your mind. You don't have to say, oh, alchemizing this, that. You don't have to use the words. In your mind, if you're able to understand, then this happened, or then that thing happened, then this thing happened, then they said these helixes are going to get created. Then they said they're going to program it and from 12th level and come to 5th level. I'm not using any terms, but I'm able to understand. That much, if you're able to understand, that's enough. Words are not important. Words have been given just so that in the physical world, we have some ways to understand. So they've given words. But words really don't play a role here at all. Beyond a certain level, at a mind level, if you're able to understand, that's more than enough. So you have to tell it out. You only have to make that attempt to bring it outside you. Until then, you won't know how much you have grasped. How much you don't know, how much you know, you will be able to figure out only when you bring it outside you. And then it will be easy for you to ask questions. Even if I give you a summary, you won't know which part you don't know actually, and which part of the summary you need to grasp. It'll all look nice. It'll all look logical again. Every class it's looking logical only, right? Summary also will look logical. But what part of this whole thing that you needed more explanation, you will know only when you revisit, like how they do for students also. No, they say student has to come back to the house. She has to make her own attempt of reading the book herself. Otherwise, how will she know what the teacher has taught, has entered into her head? How much it has entered, she won't know.
Maybe I will summarize and you can tell me if I have done it.
Yeah, in fact, all of you have to do it. All of you, whatever you all know, just start speaking it out. At least from your own words. Then the thing, you can even call it thing. You can call it this, that. Then it became this shape. Then it took that form. Whatever simple language you can use. Because that is how it has sat in your head. See, the whole idea of this divine design, the process of this divine design book will also activate some light codes inside you all. That is the whole point of such books. In the process of these 30-40 days, certain light codes will get activated inside you also, which is why you are here. It's a plan. It's your soul plan to be a part of this book. so that in the process of this evolution, some light codes need activation, and then it's not always sun. Sun's energy is there. Knowledge has to come from these things. So that matching will happen, certain light codes will get activated. And it will also help you for something that is coming in the future. Or maybe some of these concepts will help you to look at life more broadly. Not with those microscopic lens that you're seeing, he's bad, and things like that. Your vision will become broadened. And then you won't be able to see people the way you are seeing now. As we go through other chapters, you will actually feel so, wow, we are all here for this. That oneness feeling will come. And that is so important for us to live our life, right? We are not here to go off to, I mean, even if let's say some of you become enlightened as a part of this course, it will help you live whatever life you're leading in a more fulfilled way. That is more important. To exactly apply whatever you have in your current life. If we are here for experience, why shouldn't we experience it holistically? We are not doing it holistically. We are either in the past, or we are in the future, or we are like jumping the gun, or whatever it is. So that holistic approach will come in our life. Which is why this book is necessary. Yeah, Hema?
Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just, it may not be very related. We get this human body only once in this thing, right? That is what I've heard, but I'm not sure. Is it true? Like when you
This
say,
thing means?
like suppose a person dies and the soul takes another form, but the human form we get only once in the entire, like there are many different births, right? Like a animal or a tree, or those forms the human body takes at different this thing, or you can come back as human again and with another this thing body, like how is it?
I mean, books have told that we've taken thousands of human lives. Reincarnation has been there as a part of many religious books as well.
Yeah.
And even many non-religious books also, but spiritual books, they believe in reincarnation. And people have seen a lot of their reincarnations.
Okay.
So we don't get one body. We get
That's
to
right.
we get many bodies to play around with, to get experience. Otherwise, what is the fun with being only Hema and Hema's husband and Hema's wife and Hema's children and all that? Yeah, why not be somebody else, like maybe Modi and Modi's being a prime minister and all that, right? That is also one life.
Okay. So many human forms are possible. Okay.
As many as you want for your evolution. There is you're not paying a fees or something.
Oh.
They are giving you an option to evolve. Take how many ever bodies you want. The more you are in 3D, more suffering and all of that will be there. So that is why the urge to get to 5D. Because then that beauty of that experience is actually there.
Correct.
Without the negative, lower emotions.
And what do you mean by dropping the density? Like
dropping the density is not weight.
Dropping
the density is vibrations.
Okay.
Somebody can be this fat. Like if you've seen, I've sent Dolores Cannon's videos, right? She was vibrating at a very high frequency. She was able to see her work was with spirits only.
Okay.
Her work was basically, she was a past life regressionist. She used to work with people coming to her and help them go to past lives. And she was also able to communicate with those higher selves of those kind of people. And that requires a lot of higher vibrations to be able to see, talk, and all of that, and also absorb that level of information at that level. Let's assume she was in 7. I'm just giving a random number. She was pretty heavy. So that it has nothing to do with weight. And even Yogananda Paramahamsa was heavy. So it has nothing to do with weight. It has everything to do with how fast you're
able to absorb knowledge
vibrate.
And
vibrate. For example, let's say 20 candle bulb can be this big also, 20 candle bulb can be this big also. At the same time, 60 candle bulb can be this small also, It can be this big
Correct.
also.
Okay.
It is the level of how much of electricity can pass through you,
Okay.
how much of energy can pass through you and not get short circuited.
Okay.
That much you can see
Okay.
at that level.
Correct. Okay. Thank you.
And that electricity will pass only when there are no short circuits.
Mhm.
And short circuits are majorly this density,
Mhm.
all this lower emotions and all that, which are vibrating which will make some cells and other things vibrate slowly, right? So those are all which will ensure that even when the high vibrating light is available, your body is not able to accept that. So when that acclimation happens, it will lower it even further to take it inside. Acclimation means what? Taking it down and stepping it down to the level that you are.
Correct. Correct.
So, like high information level capacity is coming from the sun. But or let's say high information knowledge is coming towards you. But is your body capable of taking it? It
Hmm.
depends on how much you have maintained it, what level you have kept it and all that. You means, I'm not talking about this physical body. It is about the one that is driving the physical body along with the body.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other questions? If not, then we can wrap up the call. Shweta, have you just joined? Okay, you're on mute. Okay. If there are no other questions, then I think we can close the call. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much, Anita, for the Zoom and the music. Beautiful music, beautiful, ultimate music. And then thank you all for your questions. Thank you all for actually staying with the class and then patiently helping yourself understand. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you, Bindu, for the reading. It really helped. Thank you so much. And thank you for tolerating all the coughing and not sneezing, the blowing and all that. Bye. Few more days, it'll go off.